Hi, I'm Jordan Thompson of Striking Back, and you're watching Garage to Gigs on PGTV.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about striking back, how it started.
Well, so I've been doing music for about 10 years, messing around with different bands, and did all the struggles that musicians do, working with other musicians, and you know how the business is, and eventually, in January of 2009, I decided I would go solo 100%, and so it's still, this part's still a solo project, but so I hooked up with this management agency in maybe February, and they hooked me up with Jim Wart, my producer, and we just pumped out this record. Turned out really good.
Cool. So
Have you heard it?
Yeah, I've heard the one on MySpace that you have. It's pretty good. It's pretty relaxing. I like it. It's pretty chill.
Yeah.
What's been one of your biggest challenges as an artist so far that you think?
Well, I think the biggest challenge I faced was like seizing control of my destiny. Not that I have total control over it, but not letting outside influences stop me from accomplishing what I'm trying to accomplish. Because it's really hard, if you work with musicians that are your friends, that's hard. If you work with musicians that are your family, well, that's hard to make objective decisions, So I think the hardest thing was just taking control.
I was gonna say because I noticed you don't have exactly you always switch, I guess, with your musicians, and how's that work so far?
Well, my goal, I think I get what you're asking me. My goal is to have a permanent band.
Right.
But I'm not gonna rush it, as long as I can find talented people to play with and kind of test the waters and.
Because it's working out so far, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of good people out there that are wanting to work on good music, and there's a lot of starving musicians out there, and I know a lot of them, and they're good, So.
Yeah, there's just people get lucky sometimes.
Yeah, I hope I get lucky.
You're getting lucky.
I've been pretty lucky.
Yeah.
I've been pretty damn lucky. Yeah.
So if you had to describe your sound to someone else, how would you explain it?
If I had to explain it to somebody, just a regular person out on the street, I would say, it's just a good combination of pop and rock, soulful pop rock. If I was going to talk to somebody in the industry, I'd say, oh, it's really good radio rock. But I'm proud of the product. I feel like it's really catchy and really friendly to people who are gonna just listen to it, not on an intense level.
Right.
And then for the people who go in and listen to the whole record, they'll be like, wow, this there's a lot to this.
Yeah.
So it's got a kind of two double-edged sword.
All right. And then last September you came out here in LA and you recorded your EP, The Restless, right?
Yeah, the Restless EP.
Yeah. How was that experience right there in the studio here in LA?
It was life-changing. I spent my entire life working with good people, like good producers, good engineers. But I never, was put in a situation where I felt like I got to use all the resources that I wanted to use to make a really good record.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, just working with the people that I worked with, Patrick Warren and
Right.
Jim Wart. Jim Wart's known for having broke Incubus and Who Was Stink and Something Corporate, Jack's Mannequin. Worked on No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom, all these classic albums, which were also recorded at the studio.
Yeah.
And then Patrick Warren, the guy who did the stringed arrangements, he's done from Bruce Springsteen to Rob Thomas. These are a caliber of people that I've never gotten to work with before.
Yeah.
And so it was just wow, the record's starting to come out and the final product's starting to come out. It's just well, this sounds so good. So
the process, right?
From
the recording from scratch and then everything.
That was incredibly satisfying. And then just going into this studio where all these great records have been recorded, where you go in there, it's super stony. There's crazy paintings on the wall, and I slept at the studio for a week and a half. So it's just a really.
Now, what studio was it at?
The 4th Street Recordings in Santa Monica.
All right.
Yeah, it's a great little spot, man. It's really, really cool.
Really relaxing.
It's my home away from home. I went there yesterday just to go in there and be like, I love this place.
And what could your fans expect from the new EP you're releasing?
I think most of the people who've been following my music for a long time are just going to hear it and be like, finally, finally, you're reaching your potential. The musicianship's fantastic. The songs are really good. The productions are really good. So I think it's really just gonna be finally getting what they want to hear.
Alright, cool. And when can we expect it to drop?
Well, we haven't picked a solid date yet. You know, we're talking to record labels right now, and we don't want to do anything prematurely, or like we don't want to waste any opportunities. But we do. The Restless single is going to be available to buy in January,
Okay.
and then we're thinking about releasing a tour edition of the EP that you can only buy if you go to a show. That way, technically, it's still unreleased if a record label wants to pick it up.
Right.
So there should be in February. There should be a full length available to buy.
Alright, cool. And what's your typical music making process from creating lyrics to like putting it down and recording?
You know, it's different every time. Like, I might shoot myself in the foot for saying this, but I never forced myself to write music. So one of the coolest ways I've ever written a song was I literally fell asleep and I wrote the song in a dream and woke up and then wrote it down, and that was it.
Okay.
You know, but then other times it's been like I write a guitar line and then a year later I'll be listening to old recordings of myself and I'll be like, oh, I'm feeling that, and then I'll pump out some lyrics. Or I rarely ever write lyrics first. It's usually almost the guitar line.
Alright, so you said like you remembered them in your dream and you wrote them down. Like sometimes does that happen where it happens with like the same rhythm, like with one song that you think, and then you want to mix it up with like other songs? Has that happened?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely some mix and matching that goes on every once in a while. I don't, like, I usually write a melody, or I write a hook, or I write a cool guitar line. Rarely do I just pump out a whole song. When I do, though, it's usually it's my best work is when it just all comes.
Where does your inspiration usually come from when you get inspired to write something?
Usually, this sounds contrived, but it's usually restlessness or depression or usually those two things. I haven't written a love song in a really long time. You know, it's usually, you know, pretty angsty. When I'm feeling angsty, I'll sit down and write some stuff.
Alright, so just to relax and it just flows, right?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So what's your favorite song that you've written so far that you think is like hit home, like you feel it, like it's really deep?
Well, you know, it changes. With this EP, it's 5 songs. All 5 songs have been my favorite at one time or another. I think that my favorite track's Restless, just because it kind of captures really where I'm at in my life right now, which is funny because I wrote the song in 2001, a long time ago, when I was in college, and yeah, it really captures just kind of like where I'm at if you listen to it. It's just like
it's really good.
Wanting to have a remarkable life, you know. I don't want my life to be run of the mill.
Alright, so gotta ask this. What do you have on your iPod that your friends would be surprised for you to have on there?
What do I have on my iPod that my family would be surprised?
Your fans.
Oh, my fans? I would say a couple things. The Miley Cyrus, you know, Party in the USA. I can't help it. I really love the song, and
it actually dropped to number 2 this week. It was on number 1 for such a long time.
What a shame. What's number 1?
Lady Gaga's Paparazzi is number 1 right now.
I don't like Lady Gaga. No offense. If Lady Gaga, if you watch this. Don't get mad, you know. But
everyone has their opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I do like the Miley Cyrus for sure. And then, like, you know, some Bryan Adams and some Michael Jackson.
Cool. And then I hear you're going to be touring pretty soon.
Yeah, we're going to start in February, so not that soon. Damn it. I'm very excited about it, though. You know, going on the road for a couple months.
Yeah, what are the cities you're going to be hitting?
Well, you'd think I'd be a little more in tune. I know we're doing the West Coast. I know we're going through, like, Vegas and LA and San Francisco, and we're hitting some spots in Oregon. But I believe it's a 2.5-month tour, so we must go to the Midwest, and I think we're going down south and closing out South by Southwest is going to be where we finish.
Alright. So, like, if you could choose anyone, dead or alive, to tour with, your dream person to tour with, who would it be? Why?
Well, that's a hard question. Because if it's somebody like Michael Jackson, who's one of my idols, he would outperform me every time, so that would really suck, right? Because every time I played, I'd just look ridiculous next to this much more talented performer, so it can't be him. because that'd be no good for me. So let's see. I would tour with. I don't know. Like, who can I hang with?
Alright.
You know, it's hard. I gotta think about that some more.
Alright. So is there any big plans in the near future that you can let your viewers know? Like anything?
I would just say we think we're gonna get a record deal, and and we're gonna get on a big tour in the next few months. So I think, look forward to seeing me on your plasma, because things are looking pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, we got the big tour coming up and everything. Is there anything else you'd like to add before you play a couple songs for us here?
No, but it's good to be here. This is a cool setup.
Our garage here.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's real.
Yeah.
But.
Alright, cool. Alright.